Being alive for me, generally speaking, freaks me out. Being alive for me as an alcoholic who's sober in a great many ways freaks me out even more than when I was actively drinking. I'm 37 years old. I just had a birthday, and perhaps predictably, I'm going through a lot of self-reflection, some of it morbid self-reflection. And so to speak, I'm feeling very naked. I'm feeling very vulnerable and experiencing a lot of rawness. So for whatever reason, I thought it would be a good idea to get physically naked so that my physical nudity matched what I think is an internal sense of nudity. Only time will tell if this was a terrible idea or if perhaps this was an appropriate artistic decision or something. This is a life update video. And what I want from this video is to exhaust what's going on in my head, to just flesh it out with you guys and tell you what I've been thinking, how I have been feeling, and what I've been doing. So this video will not have any edits, 0. That's my rule right now for videos like this, because I don't want to have the chance to change the story. I don't want to have a chance to alter how I come across. I do think there's a desperate need inside of me, probably driven by a fear of inauthenticity, to be honest with you guys. So that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm sure it's going to run long. One thing I want to talk about first is that I turned 37 years old. And something that came about was that I was very grateful, and I am very grateful that at 37 years old, as a recovering alcoholic, I'm sober. I experienced a sober birthday. That means a lot to me. I've spent a lot of birthdays drunk, and I don't want that anymore for a variety of reasons. I don't want that anymore. However, one of the things that's also come from turning 37 is like a shocking realization that I'm not a kid anymore, and that I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30. And it kind of scares me. And one of the things that I'm prone to, particularly when I'm sober, is an acute realization that I've spent a lot of time in a very predictable pattern of self-destruction with alcohol, among other things, but I'm going to focus this thought on alcohol. And it kind of stresses me out. And I can have these very obsessive, ruminating, very circular thoughts about the fact that I've wasted a lot of years kind of doing the same thing. And for what is where my head goes. Now, I can talk myself out of some of that existential crisis. Oh my God, what am I doing here? How did I get here? But the negative emotions that are associated with it can be pretty burdensome. They can be pretty annoying. Very frustrating in stretches, and it seems to have gotten worse as I was building into my birthday and then a little bit after. So what I thought I would bring up first, and I'm doing this all on the fly, but what I thought I would bring up first is just how clothed alcohol made me feel when I was a drinker for a very, very long time. Getting sober for me, and I wonder if it's the same for any of you or if you've ever heard anyone speak of it in this manner, but getting sober for me is very much like unplugging from the matrix. It's being made aware of what's actually going on to the best of my ability to perceive reality. It's realizing that I have been living in a world that's been deeply muddled and utterly influenced by alcohol, by a poison. The way I see myself, the way I see the world, the way I process emotions and thoughts, the way I assess things in general. Under the guise of alcohol and drinking the way I did, which was clearly self-medication, certainly as I got older, with that in my system and being in a cycle of pursuing it and recovering from it and pursuing it and recovering from it, it was fairly easy for a very long time to not think too deeply about my purpose in life, what this is all really about, how to live a fulfilled life, what really matters to me, what actually brings me joy and fulfillment, what issues, insecurities, and troubles am I avoiding. I was able to just skirt by it largely. Alcohol was great for that. But what alcohol was not good for me was growth. It wasn't good for getting older and learning to live life on life's terms. It was really, really shitty in that regard. It rendered me very stifled. It rendered me very small in my scope and scale of development, just as a friend, as a person, as a husband, as an adult. It left me in a childlike state, and I was very reliant on the instincts and the behaviors that sort of got me by in life. And to a certain degree, those instincts have been fine as far as appearing okay, but they are not good as far as fulfillment. They are not good as far as my mental health and my spiritual health and my emotional health and all the things that are prerequisites, in my opinion, from my experience so far, prerequisites for becoming a stable, functional adult who can interact with the world on his own, so to speak, on his own. Alcohol was like the ultimate parka. It just kept me warm and safe from a lot of reality. But one of the most damning things about my experience with alcohol, and this is something I've heard before, is that it stopped working for that. It really did. And the older I have gotten, the less it has worked at shielding me from the inevitability of having to either completely crumble under the weight of life or get some support and help, grow up, and learn to face life on life's terms and find some stable ground, find some harmony, find something I can actually grow old with. It's just stopped working for shielding me from that reality. The disconnect was very powerful when I was young and became increasingly less potent as I got older. I just didn't feel the good effects of alcohol. It wasn't freeing me from myself anymore. And then I was being burdened by all the physical disparities, you would say, the sickness of being someone who just ingests a shit ton of alcohol every night. So I wasn't getting emotional freedom. I wasn't getting physical freedom. I wasn't getting even some sort of mental escape. I was just hurting and thinking through the hurt and unable to stop. It was terrible. I got sober, thank God. Thank God. But what's happened since has been nothing short of a miracle, in that I have stopped drinking and I have adopted, out of pure desperation and fear, behaviors that have been suggested to me that are going to help me learn how to be an adult, help me learn how to take care of myself, how to be responsible, help me learn how to live in a way that is doable. But as I stated in the beginning of this video, it's no free ride for me so far as to dealing with all of these reasons I am sure I drank over. Am I good enough? Why am I here? I'm insecure. Why haven't I done more with my life? What is life really all about? What's wrong with me? This propensity to come to the conclusion that there's something bad or wrong with me just lives deep inside of me. And I want to figure it out faster than I'm able to. And that's been a big part of what I'm experiencing right now in sobriety. As far as some of the nuance between my head, I seem to want to be further along than I am, or I wonder if I should be. And I have this annoying tendency to either judge myself for what I am or I am not thinking or feeling, or how I am responding. It's like coming out of the matrix and coming into the reality of the world and life as it really is both invigorating and exciting and deeply tormenting and scary. So thank God I have a program. I work a 12-step recovery program. Thank God people that care about me and that love me haven't left me and are still there for me. Thank God that for today, I am just following a path that is suggested to the best of my ability and working very, very hard on not thinking I know what's best for me right now, and not assuming the way I'm thinking and feeling are necessarily based in reality, so that I don't get so freaked out that I go back to what I have always eventually gone back to, which is alcohol, to shield me, to protect me from I don't know, the angst of existence. Now, I'm going to put this, it feels really good to admit all this, by the way. I'm going to put this, though, in contrast to what my life has been like on a behavioral standpoint. I really appreciate the fact that these days I just wake up and do the same thing every day, regardless of what I'm thinking or feeling. I seem to be surrendering to the fact that that is a better plan than going with whatever I feel like I want or think that I need, much like I have in the past. It just always leads me to trouble. I'm pretty open to suggestion. And so I'm really glad to report and say that other than choosing to be naked on a YouTube video, which I have no idea if it's going to sabotage this video or help sort of encourage the message I wonder if I'm trying to relay, but my behavior is becoming more and more consistent. I show up almost always when I'm supposed to show up for my friends, my family, my work, myself, regardless of what I think and feel. I'm really grateful for that. I'm taking good care of my body. I'm taking good care of my adult responsibilities step by step, even if I'm super freaked out about a lot of it. A lot of the time, I'm able to usually push that away, soothe myself, and have a little faith that life has gotten so much better since getting sober and since letting go of control, sometimes on a moment-to-moment basis, but usually on a day-to-day basis to the best of my ability. It's gotten so much better. So as far as like objectively speaking, my life has gotten crazy different since getting sober, and it's been going really, really well in general. Now, I do have this internal want to like kind of profess what I think is like crazy thoughts and feelings, but I also have a lot of calm and stable thoughts these days as well. I have a lot of support. I am not shy about admitting that I want support and need support. And so I ask for it, and I'm so grateful to receive it. And I usually do a good job at respecting it and just taking it because I'm afraid. And I don't want to go back to the way life was. So I'm 37, and what I really am praying for and hoping for is that despite having what I think are some faulty wirings from the past, despite having a history of letting myself down and not following through in certain ways, at least as it pertains to alcohol and addiction and the traumas of my childhood, you could say. My hope is that I just stay. That's my number one priority and focus right now, is to remember that it is okay for me to have hopeless thoughts or insecure thoughts or even negative feelings. They don't have to dictate my actions. Do the next right thing. If you don't know what that is, this is me talking to myself. Find out and ask. So my hope is that I just stay, because I think what I go through between my ears, sometimes worse than others as far as when, this is something I have to experience. This is something that needs to happen for me in order to ascend into who I think I was always meant to be, which isn't something too big or too small, but I just meant to be a person among people. I just would like to be a friend among friends, as I'm being taught. I just want to be a business owner among business owners. I just want to be right-sized and stable and calm, and I don't want to suffer at my own hands anymore. And that's something I think a lot about. And I'm not capable of this type of reflection in active addiction. It's the biggest aspect of this update that I could possibly give you, is that I'm currently able to mostly thoughtfully reflect on things. And I'm so thankful that my behavior today does seem to reflect who I think I am, and certainly who I want to be. Dependable, consistent, kind, humble, those things, educated, and gentle with myself. So I'm working really hard on that. I can't believe I'm naked right now in this video too. That's just an aside. It'll make for a good thumbnail, I'm sure. Okay, let's finish this update with a quick practical life update. I signed up for a major online CrossFit competition. That starts this week. I'll be doing 5 events in the next 6 or 7 days. I'm excited for that. I'm really grateful to be able to experience my body in sobriety. Workouts have been better. Everything physically has been so much better. It's so fun. I'm trying to really enjoy that and remember that I'm worthy of enjoying that. I have major mentorship going on right now in my life at my gym. So I have tutelage and mentorship, and I am daily being tasked with elevating myself as a business professional, which very much scares me, but I'm trying. My wife is in school. She's kicking ass. She's doing really, really well. She's wrapping up. Well, she's coming into midterms for what will be maybe one of her last semesters. I'm having thoughts about going back to school, but I'm trying to be calm because a lot of that is stemming from insecurity about not having finished it. So that is a relative or relevant update because I'm researching stuff, but trying to remember I'm in early sobriety and I don't want to make any rash decisions. Financially, I'm struggling a bit right now, but I'm trying to admit that I need help learning how to budget. I'm not very good at it and I've been afraid of it. And I think I just have a history of like putting stuff on credit cards and spending and assuming everything's going to be okay. And I'm trying to get out of this weird cycle of judging myself spending money that I don't really have, even if it's on small stuff. So I'm trying to figure out my financial life and how to grow up there. And I'm trying to take the wins and find a little joy in my life and find a little peace in my life as I go. I'm working on gratitude every single day. I do gratitude in the morning and evening. I've got my 12-step routine. I do that really well. I'm taking cold showers every morning for my mental and physical health. I'm still training every evening at the gym and coaching and learning how to be a nutrition coach. I'm living life. I'm here. I'm actually in my life. It's amazing. It's just pretty fucking scary sometimes. And I'm like, how does everyone else do it? Even as privileged as I am, I'm like, how do people do this? This is all a lot, isn't it? It's just no wonder I was so prone to drinking. I'm having thoughts of going to school for psychology. I'm having thoughts of trying to see if how far I can make it in a formal CrossFit capacity. Could I make it to semifinals or something like that? Is that something I want to pursue? Is that meaningful? I'm having lots of these thoughts and I'm just fleshing them out. But mostly I just want to stay sober and I don't want to be who I was. And that's the main part of my life update. Jesse and I are doing really, really well as a couple, as healthy as we've ever been as far as I can tell. And yeah, I think that's it. I could see myself going on and on and on, but I'm getting cold and I'd like to put some clothes back on. So thank you guys for taking the time to be with me. If you made it this far, type naked in the comment section below. Let me know you stayed and I'll give you some extra kudos. Thank you for letting me share. And I always appreciate feedback on what type of videos you'd like to see next. I want to be more consistent. I've gotten a few requests on what I'm eating. This is a body update of sorts because I'm just sitting here naked. But if you're curious about my diet and the foods I'm taking in, I'm happy to share that with you. I'm pretty sure some of you are. If you'd like to know how I'm training, I'm happy to do that too. And if you really just prefer these type of life update videos and you want more of those relative to the type of content I've been posting, let me know. And thank you for being here and for letting me share. This does help the worry in my mind. It does help my mental health struggles as they come and go. And I know a lot of us deal with that. So I'm going to stop. That's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you in the comment sections if you care to engage with me like that. If you ever want to talk, I promise I'll be clothed, but I have a link below. It can help support me financially and I can try to help support you mentally and emotionally. It's a set more account, which just means you can schedule time to talk with me. It's a paid service. It's very, very helpful for my family. And that's all I got. Okay, I've said it enough. I'm out of here. Thank you for being here. That's my life update and we'll talk soon.